Right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Afterhours podcast. It's been a while. Me and Roman here today, and yeah,
It's term 2,
term 2, week
the first
1.
episode of term 2,
It is
and the 4th episode of
the
this
whole podcast
this
in
whole
general.
podcast. Yeah,
Now today we had a couple people cancel on us, so we have Nathan instead talking to us.
Hey guys.
Nathan, what's up? What's going on?
I'm Jamie. I've been behind the computer.
He's our
most of the
information guy.
episodes.
the
So yeah.
Google Master.
The Google Master.
Glad to be in the light. Yeah.
So tell us about yourself, Nathan. Tell the people.
I'm British, although people kind of.
Burnley born and raised. I
Burnley
believe.
born and raised, baby.
Burnley.
Yeah.
Although people question your
Yeah. I
Ethnicity.
get questioned ethnicity a lot. Mexican, Cuban. I actually got Italian the other day.
Italian, really?
Yeah, that was actually a big step up. I was like,
Wow.
wow.
Why would that be the step up?
Alright, that's a slice of
And yeah,
I actually got complimented the other day while I was in the hospital, right? The nurse said I look like Roger Federer.
Roger Federer.
Kinda.
I don't see it.
Mate, you can kind of see it, but I'll take it.
Maybe if I was blind, looking at you from a distance.
Yikes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So yeah, Nathan is a student of biology, I
Yeah.
believe, and I believe you're breeding flies at the moment.
Yeah, so
Tell us about that.
in year 12, we're looking at right now mutations, phenotypes, which is just like the expression of genes, and pretty much what we're doing, right?
Yeah, the phenotypes. Yeah.
Yeah,
The phenotypes. Yeah,
The hydrogen
I
and
I just explained it to you.
the hydrogen.
bit of chemistry.
Yeah,
Yes, go on.
Yeah, tell us more
Yeah,
about the
so-
phenotypes.
So, a phenotype is a physical expression. So it's
I
what
know
gives me black hair or brown hair.
Your phenotype.
What gives me
Do I have
skin
phenotypes?
color. Yeah.
No, you don't actually.
Your entire
Yes.
body is just a big phenotype. It's how you express yourself.
It's a bit mean, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What did you call me?
we've got 4 different types of flies. We've got the normal ones, and we've got white-eyed ones, ones with broken wings, and
I thought they had
ebony.
heaps of eyes.
Hmm?
They all have every
but
single eye
it's,
is
it's
white.
the tint of
So
it.
you have
tint?
you're breeding 4 flies. I
I'm
mean,
breeding 4 types. So
yeah.
yeah.
There's actually like millions of species of flies, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we're,
there
we're
will be.
doing specific
Yeah,
fruit
yeah,
flies.
of course.
Yeah.
So you're playing God with these flies, essentially. You're
Yeah.
breeding them, and
We're building the little houses. We're giving them food. We're forcing them to breed with each other.
and what's the whole objective of this scientific
looking at-
endeavor?
Random mating events combined with the expression of dominant and recessive genes. It's like which ones are more common than others, recessive genes, wing sizes, body color.
So what are some examples of recessive genes in a fly?
In a fly,
Yeah.
white eyes. So
White eyes.
So flies have dominant and recessive.
So is that like
genes.
having red hair for us?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah. So brown hair, brown eyes, dominant, and then I don't know how it works with recessive because there's all different colors.
Why are darker colors more dominant in humans?
I couldn't tell you.
Is it because like they're easier as a color to come up with, compared rather to blue or the red, for the human body to come up with?
Is there a link between black absorbing heat? No, there's no link there.
No, I'm not the person to talk to about that. All I know is just like a little bit about dominancy
And the flies.
in the flies.
So how are your flies going?
I am the Lord of the Flies.
Ooh,
Way.
literature in there. Like it.
Dance.
Yeah, I love that movie. Right. Yeah, but yeah, we're just seeing random mating, looking at different types expressed.
Have you named your flies?
We haven't. We've lost
That's-
two.
that's
We've
a-
lost
You've
two of
lost
them
2
so
already?
But if you name them, you become connected. You know,
Yeah.
it's like naming a pig you're about to slaughter.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea.
No. It's terrible.
Is it true that Mr. Andrews accidentally killed
Yeah, I'm
by
not
drowning
I'm
them?
not allowed to say.
You're not allowed to say, okay, we'll leave that.
I'll say no for now. But
Okay.
yeah, that's all I can say.
So continuing on with this biology kind of thing, I believe you have a desire to be a biochemist?
Yeah. So
what's that?
Biochemistry is looking at the specific reactions that go on in the human body
Mm-hmm.
on like a molecular level.
Yeah.
And I want to pretty much look into that So I think it stems off into medicine, cures for like ailments.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the gist of it, right? So it's,
So you want to be like in terms of like actual job, like doctor, or like
just less than a doctor.
like a scientist.
Yeah.
Just
I wanna
discover
wear the white
some
coat in the white lab,
discover some
holding my
biochemistry
my
stuff.
little test tubes, sucking out, putting in.
Is that like diseases and how they, and finding cures to those and how they manifest and doing research on how to counteract certain things?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Oh.
Nathan Jackson, the man who cured cancer.
I wish.
No, it can happen. You're a smart fellow.
Have you heard that? Have you heard the theory, right? Have you heard the theory that they've already found the cure for cancer? They're just hiding it because the the chemotherapy industry is like multi-billion.
Really?
I think
Well, it's just a theory, right?
I didn't really buy into that.
But who would be okay? That's an interesting theory because that sort of happens a lot of times with conspiracies.
I wish there was a movie about
The
it.
pharmaceutical companies are pretty much the essence of pure evil. A majority of them are. If you look at how they conduct their business, it's really actually quite evil.
They do it so you purposely have to come back and...
Yeah, and there's been actual cases where some companies work through other companies that are actually their own companies, so they don't have to pay the proper taxes, and it gets very complicated. And there's been outright cases of where it's a medication for a certain sort of disease or skin treatment. It's rare, but not rare enough that there's still there's still people using it, and they will over the time and over years raise those prices. And I think there was one certain case where it had actually risen by 200%. So this lady said, when I begun treatment, it was $50 for a 2 months worth of treatment.
Chemo?
It wasn't chemo; it was just basic drugs.
Yeah.
But then he says now it's $200 for a week's worth. So, and there's been heaps of cases of that, especially in America, and I don't doubt here as well, with pharmaceutical companies just going AWOL because it's the same thing as drug dealing. If once you get someone hooked, or for instance, like people who actually need it to carry out their day-to-day functions, then you can make profit.
When you have like a set amount of customers, you can do whatever you want with the price.
And that's the thing with companies, you just have to make sure they keep coming back for the product. But in those situations, you don't need to worry about that, so just increase the price.
But how do you know that this is what actually happens in the medicine world?
Oh, there's actually a documentary about it on Netflix. It's called Dirty Money. And I was watching through it, and that's that they have that case in there on that documentary. It's a little just short 1 hour thing.
Yeah.
They have that. They have I can't remember what car company, but I think it was like Volvo or Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah. So that's the first one is Volkswagen, and how they came out and said how they made the first completely it was like no emissions car.
Yeah.
And they said that they'd done that, and people bought the car. And I think for about 2 months, everyone thought it was, but then they took it to the university, came out. A university, I think, in America or either in Europe came out and said, no, it has the exact same amount of emissions as any other regular car on the market.
Wasn't that the one where they cheat on their emissions test? And
Yeah,
they
they straight up cheated.
They were over their limit.
By
and they had to get like pulled back.
Because, nowadays, in Europe now, because they said by 2020 France isn't going to have any diesel cars, so the companies around the world, or countries around the world rather, are increasing the standards of which your car can emit emissions. So if your car doesn't meet that, then you lose the right to sell that certain car in that whole country, which is devastating for profit and to make money. So they just lied, just straight up lied.
Can't wait for electric cars though.
Yeah, electric cars. They are crazy.
Yeah, I reckon it is the future, but...
Yeah, I remember they made the first like electric Formula One car. It just broke every record. Yeah, it's better, but yeah. Well, the price of petrol is just going to go up to the point where everyone's going to have to buy an electric car.
Is it how more sustainable is it than just petrol cars, electric cars? Because it's still electricity. You still have to burn stuff to generate that. You know.
Oh, like
It's just like using electric cars over petrol cars and
Yeah.
like the emissions.
The
Is it the
emission-
emissions that
Yeah.
we're talking about here? Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Like
making the actual car in itself.
no, because it runs on electricity, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to burn fossil
Yeah, you
fuels to
burn
get
it,
that.
Well, that's just
And
a
that's-
case of the country in itself, how they make your electricity. So I think Canada is 80% hydroelectricity.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Elon Musk with
Tesla.
Yeah,
That's the
Tesla.
biggest one right now. The only thing, he released the Model Y.
Yeah.
The
new
Model Y
Tesla.
came out last term, about a month or two ago.
yeah.
Yeah, from what I've seen, they look really cool.
They do. Look
It
pretty
literally drives itself.
Mm.
sick. That you can just not have your hands on the
Autopilot,
wheel.
yeah.
Just, yeah.
The safety thing is, of course, you have to have your hands on the wheel, but you can just not.
It's crazy.
Apparently, you can set different modes. So there's like a ludicrous mode, and there's like a. I think the
Get me
idea
to
was on
the-
the freeway.
My wife's
So
giving birth mode.
yeah, ludicrous is like it'll start overtaking people.
On its own, by itself.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it'll know the speed, and then it will start go up slightly, so you can go past that person.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean,
What if it stuffs up? Surely there's a room for error. Like, you know.
well, here's the thing: computers are different to humans.
Of course.
We take in information through our eyes,
Yeah.
and when it goes into our brain, we process it, and then we have to. The brain has to send fire the neurons to get our hands moving and our feet and our body. But the computer works at like, what is it, 1,000th of a second? It
Yeah.
thinks
That's pretty pacey.
like the way we think, and then it thinks at that like 1,000th of a frame. You know.
Yeah.
I think it has one of the Teslas has a thing where when it goes from road to an icy road, it can change to four-wheel drive, but in the thousandths of a second, because it's a computer, because it's electric,
Yeah.
so it can just change immediately. Because what was it? He was in an interview and he said, a guy asked, "What if it goes into a way that's compromisable or crashing?" So from facing forward to on the road onto an icy road, facing forward to completely from, what do you call it? From vertically to horizontally on the road.
Yeah.
And he just said it really won't happen. Like they take it to an ice road out in Greenland, I think, is where they test all those cars. And he said we put a guy in the car and they said make it go horizontally, and the guy just said I can't, it won't. Because it's good. It's a good car.
Nutty.
What were we talking about?
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Biochemistry?
Biochemistry. And then it went into 5. And then,
Fossil fuels it went into the dirty money thing.
yeah, dirty.
Yeah, watch the dirty money thing. It's crazy. They have the Volkswagen thing. That's the first episode. They have about bees, I think, and how the bee one was really intense and emotional to watch. For me personally, because I love bees. But
Wait, you love bees?
yeah, I love bees.
Why?
What do you mean?
Because they make honey?
Bees
Yeah.
are pretty cool. They're really efficient.
Bees are an animal is born, and it doesn't think about anything except working. It is born with the knowledge.
They are-
I need to get the pollen.
I need to get, yeah.
I just think that's incredible.
As a species, they're very collaborative.
Yeah, and it's just made, and it comes out, and it's in a hive with about 100 other of its dudes, and it just goes, yeah, I need to get the
We need
pollen.
to go get the pollen.
We need to go
boys.
get the pollen and bring it back. And I just think that's crazy how they just all think like that, and they're all there.
They're very productive in that as
and
well.
they're just so productive. It's like, I want to be a bee.
Hey, have you seen the Bee movie?
Yes, I've seen the bee movie.
Jerry Seinfeld as Barry Benson.
Barry B.
Barry
Benson.
B. Benson.
Oh, my bad.
But yeah, okay, so back to Dirty Money.
Yeah.
It has about that. That's pretty emotional. It's basically saying how the whole bee industry is compromised and how...
How so?
Okay, so you have the America... It's all based in America because it's an American show.
Of
but,
course. Yeah.
I've talked to some Australian bee... what do you call them?
Beekeepers?
Beekeepers. And
Yeah.
they said it's the same thing here.
At the one-room markets?
Claremont.
Claremont, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Close.
Not really.
No. Anywho, they say the issue is that I think it was something, the very first statistic they give you is that America's consuming such and such amount of honey, but yet pretty much 60% of that is actually being produced in
Farms.
yeah. So it's like this amount is being produced, but we are consuming 40% more than that.
Yeah.
So there's clearly an issue going on that someone is illegally or legally or
So
illegally, a third party is influencing the consumption in America, and it's from China. So what they do is pretty much the same thing they do with drugs, is that they illegal substances, is that they have the honey, and they inject it with a lot of filler. So instead of having 1 barrel of honey, they now have 200. And they do that over and over and over
What's
again.
the filler? Just like water or like a
It's
sugary?
It'd be like
Sugary,
sugar.
yeah, it's like
yeah,
sugary, same consistency as honey. So
yeah.
I think the statistic is the majority of honey you buy in America, if it's from a big company, it really won't be honey.
100% pure honey.
Yeah, it won't be pure honey.
Filled up with like some sucrose kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's an issue. And then the next issue was for the actual farmers themselves who actually do this. Their prices get drawn up, and it's really difficult to compete with the Chinese. So first thing they did is they banned the actual Chinese from giving honey above a certain amount to the Americans, but then they just put it through Thailand and Malaysia and Cambodia and Indonesia. As soon as they placed that ban and that tariff, it was like the amount coming from all those other countries increased by 300%. So it's like, I wonder. It was like 600 barrels came in of honey from Malaysia in 3 weeks, and they have enough honey, have enough bees in Malaysia to create 1 barrel in a year. So it's like, what's going on here? But yeah.
To touch on the disease that's wiping out honeybee farms.
So the reason why the scientists really don't know why.
Yeah.
But they don't know why it's happening or why the bees have this issue, but it might be from overworking. It's not really clear. But the reason why it spread so rapidly and is so devastating is that what happens in America is that there is in California, for instance, there'll be apple season. So all of the orchards will be ready, and they pretty much invite all of the beekeepers to come in with their bees and place them down in a certain area, and the bees will go out and pollinate to create better product and just to pollinate in general, and it's better for everyone. But what happens is that if one person, and there is legit like 15 people on one farm, big orchards, yes, but the bees travel a long way. So if one person's bee has that disease, pretty much all of those bees are now gone. And it was, there's other cases as well where people will actually steal people's bees. Yeah, it was pretty sad. I'm
They
not
just
gonna
break
lie.
into like the beehive.
No, because you leave your bees there for the day.
Yeah.
Like you have to go sleep somewhere.
Yeah.
And this guy was, it was pretty sad. The guy was saying,
Stole
we don't have a farm. We have a farm, but we can't keep our bees there because there's nothing for them to really pollinate. So he was like, it's just my wife and I get into the truck and take all of our bees and take it around the country. And I only stay home for 3 months.
Oh.
And then he said, I came here and now 90% of my bees are gone now.
Oh,
And then he was just like, I don't know what to do now. I have to go home and it was pretty sad, dude. They have that. Moving on back to
back to
I get
dirty
passionate
money.
about bees. I'm sorry, I get passionate because I respect the animals, especially bees. They have that. They have a guy. It's a lot of money laundering, and then it's people pretty much cheating the system, but then they get caught out. Sometimes they don't, especially with the pharmaceutical one, because they have so much power and so much money, and they're so elusive.
So why don't they? If it's known that this is going on, why isn't there?
It's because it's not like the FBI.
Yeah.
It's about the federal and FBI and CIA actually have to get involved and stop it.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult because it's like, well, it wasn't my company that did it. It was this separate company. And it's like, well, how come your name is also on that company? It's like, I just donated to the company. I'm not actually running it, dude.
Wow, I never knew this.
Yeah. I think they're cracking on it now. During the Hillary Clinton Donald Trump election, that was one of the issues Hillary Clinton actually brought up, because people coming out and saying, I have to pay $300 for some oils. It's nonsense.
But wasn't Obamacare still around then? keeping everything
Yeah,
free.
that didn't really work too well.
Dude.
No, because he brought it in. The thing with Obamacare,
Yeah.
it sounds good on paper, but
It's not practical.
no, it's not. It's not that. It's that it came in,
Mm.
and then he left,
Yeah.
and then he put his name on it. If he called it Medicare or HBF or something like health care,
HIF.
but he called it Obamacare. So there's actually
it
instances.
was a nickname, but the public called it.
Yeah, that's what the
Obamacare,
public
yeah.
knows it as. So people who didn't vote for Obama didn't like him. They're not going to go to Obamacare. That's what people are legitimately saying. They said, "I'm not going to Obamacare because I don't like Obama." So if he
Wow.
called it something else and he actually started off good and said, "Hey, such and such, I think we should actually build on this," but then Donald Trump came in and said, "Well, I think it wasn't working too well. Like as an actual organism, it wasn't working too well."
How come?
Honestly, I don't know that much
Yeah, I
about
don't know
it,
that much either.
but it's gone now. I know
Yeah, he
that
scrapped it.
he scrapped it, and if it was working well, I doubt they would have scrapped it without
Well,
reason.
yeah, of course, yeah.
The media likes to portray Donald Trump as like a raving madman, but I doubt he's a businessman at heart.
He is,
And if it's
of course.
working and bringing in money and it's bringing goodness to the American people, I doubt they would have gotten rid of it.
Mm.
But they did because the name
Reasons
kind of
unknown.
sucks, and it's probably not working well. So yeah,
There you go.
next thing.
All right, this next segment of the podcast is called 10 Seconds Fun Facts with
Okay,
me and
here we
Roman,
go.
where we are given 10 seconds to tell both of you,
You're on timer. Nathan's on timer.
I'm on timer.
to tell you guys one fun fact about each other.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Wait, how is this like a quick fire? Like
Yeah,
you
quick fire.
Wait,
just
so
straight up.
do you have 10 seconds to spit out all your facts about
No, just
yourself?
one fun fact
And then
for both of us. 10 seconds for the two of us. And this will be like a weekly thing.
So you
So-
say a fact, then I say a fact,
And then that's it.
that's it.
That's the end of the segment. Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was going to be like a competition if you could say the most facts before someone
No,
stutters.
because then we'll run out, dude.
I thought you go back and forth until one person.
Yeah, it's like a
messes
battle
up.
till someone goes,
Like,
and then just
I'm more
ends.
interesting. No, I'm more interesting.
I mean, we could do that, but I thought we'd just keep it at one.
That's why I was getting nervous. Like this is going to be a battle.
All right.
All
10
right,
seconds.
10 seconds. You go first, or I go first?
You go first because
Alright,
you're right. No,
three-
wait. You go first.
3, 2, 1, go.
I've never had a Big Mac before.
Okay, so now it's my turn.
Now it's your
Yes.
turn. Quick, 5
You
seconds.
got 5 seconds.
I got 5 seconds.
Go, no.
I've never seen Sherlock Holmes.
What was that?
What do you mean?
I've never seen Sherlock Holmes.
I have seen Sherlock Holmes. Wait, that was just a lie.
You're not good at this.
Well, we
I'm not good. That wasn't a fun fact.
We're not doing that again.
Oh,
No,
I just straight up lied about Sherlock Holmes. That was weird.
Alright, well, moving on. There you go.
done that before.
Wait, can we dwell more on the fact that you said you hadn't had a Big Mac before?
Do we want to get into that? Or
Yes, I want to get into that. This
Is the whole thing we just leave it isolated?
Did you lie?
No, I haven't, I swear.
I've
Why
never
have
had
you
a
never
Big
had-
Mac either.
You've never had a
I don't
Big
see the
Mac?
appeal in
Wow,
it.
steal my thunder.
Okay, then what do you
No,
order?
no, no,
What do you
it's
order?
your story. I was just adding to it.
I don't eat junk
Okay.
food that often because I don't like it.
So you're saying you've never been
I've
to a
eaten junk.
McDonald's?
I have.
Okay, what do you order?
I think I like the McChicken burger, or whatever it's called.
Oh my.
Yeah.
he's one of those people.
No.
It's been a while, yeah.
First of all, why would you order chicken at a fast food place?
Because here's the thing, yeah. I don't like pickles. I don't like ketchup. And I don't like the cheese they put on it. And I know you're thinking, well, why don't you ask them to just not put that on the thing? Well, I don't know. I've just never done it before.
At that point, when you just not go to Macca's at all,
Yeah.
go to like KFC.
Go to
get a proper
KFC and you
chicken
get
burger.
all your chicken indulgence from there.
The double zinger, whatever it's called, I don't know.
Get the 10-piece bucket, dude.
Yeah, and I've always preferred eating like naturally made foods. I know it sounds weird, but like, yeah. So that's why I've never had a Big Mac.
That's just numb.
It's yeah.
That's weird.
I know. I need
That's
to eat
kinda
one. Yeah,
weird.
I know.
That's all. I get the double Big Mac
Ooh.
because I'm hungry all the time. So you said you'd never had a Big Mac too, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm a double cheeseburger man.
A double cheeseburger, dude.
I'm a simple man, simple needs.
How can you get
simple
your
burger.
Simple pleasures.
I would need like 3 of those to stop
They're
being
tiny.
hungry
Plus,
for
it
like
also
10 minutes.
doesn't. No.
I
Yeah,
think
it just gets me.
Whenever I go, I get something big, but
it's got to be big.
I sound like I go like every week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on. Endgame. Avengers Endgame. came out
Are we
last
doing
week.
Are we doing
spoilers
spoilers?
free?
I think, yeah, so for the next
We'll
segment
start
of this
spoilers
podcast, this
free.
will be spoilers, so
Oh, we're going
Right
straight
now?
into spoilers.
yeah, so I'll put timestamps in the description, so skip over this if you haven't seen it. If
Okay.
you haven't seen it, go see it.
Okay, so if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, then pause this right now.
Look to
Pause
the
it right now.
description.
Have you paused it?
I think they've paused
Okay,
it, yeah.
you've paused it. Okay, good. And now,
Run to event cinemas.
They just paused it.
Or Grand.
They can't
Or
hear,
Grand
they, no,
Cinemas.
they
Or
can't
wait.
hear your message because you just paused the
Oh, yeah.
video.
okay, unpause.
Unpause it,
yeah,
yeah.
unpause it.
Go to the nearest event cinema or Grand Cinema.
Wait.
Make sure you've seen Infinity War first, because that you kind of need that for context.
And then go watch the other 22 MCU movies from the past
10 years?
11 years, I think. Once you've done that, you want to go back and read all the comics then. And then you want to read the rewrites of those comics.
Oh, I think
Yeah, it
And then you
wouldn't
want to
make
go
sense
see the
without that,
interviews with all the actors, read all the Wikipedia pages, and then go see Infinity War. And in order to get the full amount of
Appreciation.
engagement, wait a whole year and then watch Endgame.
And
then come
play-
back to this
then
video
come
and
back to
unpause.
the
Then
pause.
you want to unpause it.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's get straight into it. What do you think?
I loved it.
I can tell you I definitely enjoyed it.
I loved
it. Was
it.
really good.
It's actually one of my favorite films.
I'm
It
just
was-
going to spit stuff off the top of my head.
10 out of 10 best Marvel film in my opinion.
Probably the best, yeah. 10 out
Was
of
it the
10
best
though.
Marvel film?
In my
Oh yeah, no, let's just get straight into why it's good, alright? So I think in this film, the characters, they felt more human. You feel that? I feel like they were... Why are you giving me that?
I didn't feel that.
I didn't
Come
feel
on.
that. That's not what I got from it.
No, they feel more human than previously, right? They're troubled characters. They're damaged. They've lost, of course,
Yeah, the snap did work.
the
on
snap.
them.
Yeah, and I feel like in
which
this
is cool, but that's like
in this thing they have more. They're desperate. They have a lot to lose, and with that, I felt came.
they've literally
They
got
have nothing to lose.
That's the opposite.
That's
of
the
it.
whole point of it. It's the final stand. They'll do whatever they want.
Alright,
Nah,
cut this out. But yeah, you know what I mean. They feel more desperate, and with that came depth that we haven't seen before.
Thor
You-
being fat.
I like
The thing
that.
I liked
That was
about
actually really
Thor-
good.
They played it well.
He was actually depressed.
Yeah.
He was,
he was
and I think the
mentally
message
scarred,
there
yeah.
was, you don't have to be. You can be a hero all
You
the
can
while
win, but,
being,
he didn't win.
sad and terrible, anxious and not looking the best physically.
No,
I
I think
as
the
Thor
real
was.
message was like you can be anyone, you can be a god, you can be human.
But failure still hits. And I think it hit hard for him because he's like a god. And it's like the only time he's ever lost.
Yeah, but he was still drinking to forget his.
He was
problem with
drinking. He
families.
was sad. He
Yeah.
was
He
overweight.
was sad that he didn't kill him.
Oh, he did and saved her.
Yeah, he
'Cause
didn't-
I like
yeah,
the little
sorry, my bad.
dialogue he has. Like whenever they confront him about it, he just he always just says, "Well, but who killed him, dude? But who killed Thanos?" And everyone's like, "Hey, you did." And it's like, "That's right, I won." And then goes back to drinking.
Who was wielding the axe when? Who was wielding the axe that killed him? Huh?
Exactly.
Another thing I liked about this film was, it kind of got me like compelled to cry.
I nearly,
Yeah,
I had
like,
to hold it in a little
I
bit.
definitely felt the need to cry. I was like,
30,000.
Yeah, 3,000.
You know what?
was
Okay,
beautiful.
what part got you? Was there a certain part where you were like, okay,
There are a couple
I'm gonna have
parts.
to hold it in?
Um,
There was a certain part for me. A certain part.
obvious part is when Tony dies,
Yeah.
and like
okay.
his whole funeral. The end scene where
The only thing that I
where
thought
Cap
was that,
is dancing with Peggy in the house to
Oh,
that
yeah,
jazz
when you
music.
went
That was
back in
pretty
time,
nice.
yeah.
I was like, oh.
yeah.
That scene where Black Widow's like holding on to Hawkeye with like her arm, and she's like, "It's okay, let me go."
And
that
then
was pretty touching. and
Yeah,
then she goes
that
out.
was really cool how they did that because I was like confused if it was just gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna jump off now and then jump. But the way they did it, where it was like they just
Yeah,
both like
it was a
1v1.
heartfelt interaction.
Yeah, how
They-
both of them were like, I want to do it.
I'll die for you. That's they were dying for each other.
Yeah. Well, not
It was
exactly.
more
Not
selfless.
exactly,
isn't
but-
that what it-
yeah.
It's like, no, I'll do it. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, because they both have that training from being like, such and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, those are the bits that you wanted to cry.
There was probably another one, but I can't remember. What about you?
There is one exact moment that got me.
What?
When it was past the funeral, and then the little like the kid,
Oh,
the
yeah.
kid
Wants
just
a
says,
cheeseburger?
and it was like the happy whatever is like, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want a cheeseburger, and I nearly got me. I was like,
How did that make
I
you
want
cry?
the cheeseburger too, man.
Your dad liked cheeseburgers.
Oh, it was the guy from Chef as well.
It was just like, that's such a perfect...
We
The
never,
guy from Chef.
You know that movie?
we'll never.
It's the
bring
same
up-
guy.
Don't
It's the
ruin
same
it.
guy. That's why I found it funny. Because like, oh, he's the guy
John
from Chef.
Favreau?
Yeah,
Never bring up.
I was
that
like, oh,
movie
he's the guy
around
from
me
Chef, and
again.
she wants a cheeseburger.
I
Ancient
have bad
text.
experiences.
The ancient text.
Yeah.
No, just the part when she said
Are
that.
you
was
kidding me? That's like the most.
No, it's so good.
I want a cheeseburger.
No, but the way she says it, she's like, oh, don't make this kid start crying or anything. But the way she's like, I want the cheeseburger. You know, she has the cute lisp. I love you 3000.
Or the scene where.
Oh, the 3000.
Oh,
was
yeah.
beautiful.
And the way Tony is just like, yeah, dude, I got love 3000.
Yeah, he didn't hide it.
Yeah, it was,
He was just like straight downstairs. She loves me 3,000 times more than you.
I was actually emotionally invested in this.
Oh,
in this
I
film,
actually
which is
was.
surprising for me.
man, it was good.
Um,
Let's talk about, okay, so there's other scenes.
you know that scene where Cap's sitting on the bench as an old man.
That was so cool.
I was like, oh my god! Oh, almost knocked off the mic. I was like, oh my god! Yeah.
That was just cool.
I don't think Falcon should. I don't think there needs to be another Captain America.
Nope.
You should-
Especially not Falcon.
In the comics, that is what happens.
Yeah.
But what I think should happen if Falcon shouldn't get it, because I don't like the
You think
character.
Bucky should get it?
No.
No
He-
one should
he
get it.
definitely-
He should retire the legacy.
If anything, like give it to some other kid or whatever.
Some future guy. Who
Because
will
the whole
grow-
point
yeah.
of Captain America in the comics is that it's like it's not a person. Like at the start it was, but then it carries on.
Yeah.
It's like it's about not about who wears the mask. It's about the mask or whatever. If that does that make sense? I don't think that made sense. It's
It's not about.
It's not
It's
about
about
the-
the idea.
It's the idea of Captain
Not the
America
actual
that gets
physical
passed
person,
on.
yeah.
But then again, Captain America was a bit different because he's like a full-on super soldier.
Yeah.
Now you're
genetically
gonna find people.
modified,
Yeah, you're not gonna find people like that anymore.
Especially not Falcon.
Especially not Falcon.
He doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't.
All he can do is just fly.
He can
with his
fly
little-
around, do
his
like
little
he can
suit.
do some reconnaissance here and there, but you know
I agree.
he's a bit cringe. get Falcon off the screen. Bring Chris Evans on.
Boo! Get him.
I
off
want
the
Chris
screen.
Evans.
Yeah, I reckon he should just die with the legacy of Captain America.
Wait, Falcon?
No. I'm doing Steve Rogers. And then like maybe in the future, you know, they have some kid come up and be Captain America.
Yeah, it's like
I found it.
Buried with the shield.
buried with the shield.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Or how?
That'd be pretty good.
I'm adamant on that. That's the one thing I want hammered in the ground after that movie.
Like you think these legacies should be gone?
I don't think his legacy deserves to be passed on. Because imagine the giant you have to live up to.
Yeah.
Captain America.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing, though. You have to live up to that.
The whole point of it is that it is unachievable, so that you keep striving to be better.
So you think they should make a statue and be done?
That's kind of lame. I'm
Nope.
sorry. No.
No, it's cool. I love statues.
Statues
I
are
want-
fun.
I
Depends
don't-
on the statue.
I don't want it to just.
If
end
you got
there.
a statue of yourself with like a shield right there, and it's like it's cool. When you look at that statue and you think about like that's an actual person. I don't know. I think it's cool.
What if it was like the statue was Captain America, like holding the shield up, protecting like some innocent person?
Yeah, like it has like someone behind it, and it's just.
That would be a cool statue.
Or
I
just
would visit
standing
that statue.
cool with like both hands down. The American
No.
stands up, you know.
I feel like there's enough heroic stand statues. to
There's
go
never
around.
enough.
I feel like it needs to be
I
him
have a soft
protecting
spot.
someone.
Okay, wait. What are we talking about? Oh,
What,
Endgame.
Endgame.
Okay.
The film was quite funny as well at times.
Marvel yet again hitting spot on with a comedy. They really are. They're really good at it. It always hits. Well, there are a few that don't hit. There's a few zingers that
Every joke, everything, has a joke that doesn't work out.
because it's a bit cringe, but
What was cringe?
I just remember the Black Panther one. What are those? That made me
Oh,
want to
yeah,
get up and
no,
leave.
yeah.
I've never seen Black Panther. I didn't have to feel your pain.
Yeah, it was a good film. Not as good as everyone said it was, but
I also liked how Steve Rogers was like being a hero in the sense of not wearing the suit and like the shield, but he was just with these support groups in New York, just like having a conversation, trying to help them out emotionally.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was cool to show that as well.
It fits his character.
do you know
as
the
well.
guy talking? The guy that said he went on a date with another dude.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the directors or something. No. That's one of the guys who wrote the comics.
Oh.
Yeah, like the people in that circle. Another one was the guy who legit wrote the Infinity War comics that made like the whole Gauntlet and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, like another dude who like actually just came up with the idea of Thanos.
I think with this film, the whole thing was like, the best part was just seeing this whole trilogy coming to an end after 10 years, having a full like arc.
Yeah.
And they went back in time and like they went through all the old movies.
Yeah.
And seeing the progress they've gone on from then to like now,
Yeah.
and like all this ending in one giant battle.
The one
with
thing I
everyone.
liked about it, with that whole like, as soon as they said we're gonna do time travel, I was like, well,
This could be
I wish they
problematic.
went into it a little bit more. That's just me talking.
I don't know. Okay, so how I thought about it was like, I don't really know how this is gonna work out. This could be just like really iffy, like old Terminator and stuff. It's just gonna be a bit cringe. But I've said that 3 times now. I'm saying that too much. It's cringe. But it got really good, and it just, as soon as Captain America started fighting Captain America, I started loving it. I was like, this is so cool. I don't care anymore. Yeah, and they went back to like the first Avengers film, like in New York, and I was like, okay, this is just cool.
Did you hear that they're making a spin-off TV show for Loki after he grabs the Tesseract and vanishes? From that scene?
From
Yeah.
when
Apparently there's going to be a Loki TV show.
like a spin-off.
Yeah. Where it follows him after that scene.
Oh, fair enough.
I don't know how that worked though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Me neither, but I reckon that's a cool idea.
Can I just say, like, I know Tom Holland doesn't really show up, like, he's there, but he doesn't really show up a lot, but he's just such a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, he is.
He just kills
He
it.
is.
I like
love
the
him.
Tobey Maguire version of Spider-Man, but Tom Holland's, like,
He's more of a kid.
more of, like, like, immature kid kind of...
My favorite part, and it's weird, but when he shows up, and he's just saying hi to people the whole time,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Mr. Stark. Yeah.
Mr. Stark.
Yeah.
Mr. Strange showed up, and we said,
And we did
it's
this."
been 5 years. You got to come through the portal. now here I am, Mr. Stark.
He's so cute.
But the best part was like he had the gauntlet, whatever, was running around,
Oh, yeah,
and then all
Captain
those bombs
Marvel.
came down, and just that little moment where he's just like completely just scared, and he's like crawling up into a ball,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, that is the proper response, because he hasn't had like the training or whatever.
He's still...
he's
yeah,
not
it's like this
experienced
is
at all.
he's had like defeat the burglar or whatever. Defeat this one guy who's stealing
vulture.
the vulture, or the guy who's stealing the old lady's purse. It's like he's not a war dude. He's legit a kid. So the part is just getting like just absolute terrified. It's like, yeah, I like that.
That's realistic.
That makes him
yeah.
Spider-Man, Yeah. that was
Paul
good.
Rudd's quite funny as well as Ant-Man.
I don't. Paul
Ooh,
Rudd.
you disagree?
Paul Rudd. He's too much like Quill, Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
They're too similar.
They're style comedies too.
I prefer Star-Lord. I don't know.
He's quite funny. You know that scene where he's dancing to
Oh
"Come
my god,
and
that
get
was...
your love."
I love that, because I was like, I was jamming out to the song,
It's
and
like,
then it
so
just
he's
goes,
an idiot. It's like, yeah, it's like,
"Come and get your love," and then whatever the parts that he
And
knows,
she
he just goes hell hard on them, and then he's like,
Because in like Lions, it's like covered by the music, and he's like singing into
hey,
like
it's
the
such an
little
epic
rat.
scene, but in reality, he just looks like a complete idiot.
he's
I
like,
love
so
it.
he's an idiot. He's like, yeah. And then puts out her hand, and like he just like gets knocked out.
So good.
Classic Chris Pratt. What else is good about this?
Does Captain Marvel actually possess the strength to punch holes through Thanos'
Yeah.
shit? I've never seen Captain Marvel as
Yeah,
well.
she does. She's
But
okay.
as soon as I saw that, I was like, is that what she's meant to be doing?
Yeah.
I found her kind of annoying. Not gonna lie.
I don't like Captain Marvel in the slightest.
Yeah.
She's the worst character.
Her point in
She is the worst character, to my opinion. She's so boring. She's not real.
And
She
she
was-
was she was
she's
so
not-
condescending to when they like regrouped everyone.
her
she was just like,
attitude.
yeah, there's more than one planet.
There's more than one
I
planet,
showed
guys.
I showed up now. I think it's all... I showed up.
What makes you think we're gonna have a chance this time? You have me, and then bam.
I want to
punches
know
a
what she
hole.
was doing. Who's a bigger threat than the guy who's assembling the Infinity Stones? Who's a bigger threat than that?
Some random chick that was an ex-pilot who possesses.
But like, she's running around the universe, right?
Yeah.
It's like, shouldn't that be her main issue?
Yeah.
The guy who can legit has the power of the things that
The-
can
the
wipe out
things
half
that-
the universe.
the
The guy,
things that create and destroy the
surely
universe.
she would have heard, halfway across the galaxy, Asgard got destroyed, by the way. and she would have been like, the place that is just, is inhabited by actual gods just got destroyed. I think that's on my radar.
You know what? I actually think that there was like a thwop snatching over
Yeah,
there.
actually, there's a place having, there's a
Sector 321.
Sector 321 halfway, 200,000 light years away is having a bit of a civil war, so I might go check that out,
I actually heard that they were fighting over some like.
They can give me a
cheese
haircut
juice,
over there, they can.
Oh,
I
that
hated the
haircut
haircut.
was
It was so bad. The haircut?
Hers,
Yeah.
when it's short.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, I didn't really like it.
It's so
either.
bad.
And I was expecting her to have a fire mohawk. I thought that was like a point of her.
Yeah.
But she didn't bust it out. I was kind of disappointed. I was like, where is the fire point?
It was cool when she came in and destroyed the thingy. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I thought she was going to do something, like when she went straight through it and exploded it, I thought like maybe that shit was just going to like land on the whole battlefield and she was going to like pick it up and like throw it away. Because you know how Superman does it, where he like grabs the missile and throws it into the sun? That's cool.
Yeah.
Because like this guy just went up and like grabbed this whole thing and like threw it into the space. I thought she was just gonna like pick it up and do something cool, but no, she just like pew 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 pew, just destroyed the laser beams. Pew, 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 pew. It's like, well, that's not cool. It's a little bit cool. It's not that cool though. You could give a 12-year-old and say, look, dude, this chick has all these abilities. What is she gonna do? And he's like, oh, dude, and then she picks up the spaceship and then turns it into a salami stick. And it's like, well, that's cooler.
That was pretty cool. We're at 42 minutes, by the way.
Getting back to being critical of the film.
Okay, first of all, that whole end fight scene, it was al dente. From start to finish, it was a masterpiece. And I don't care what anyone says.
As soon as I was a bit iffy about Captain America picking up the hammer.
No, that's a legit thing.
Yeah, I know it was in the comics, but that to me, like,
You don't think he-
didn't
Because do you get
settle
how
well.
Mjolnir works though? Like, it's not just Thor.
Yeah,
it's
it's
legit
the-
anyone who is
who's-
worthy.
yeah.
So anyone who's like good-willed and is a good
Pure of
person,
heart.
pure of heart, can actually pick it up and wield it.
I just didn't think he really needed it. But when the portals came, that was when I was like, oh boy, it's happening.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I was getting so into it, but like, this is just so cool. And then he picks up the hammer, and I was like, this is so cool. And then the light things came
then
in,
you, like-
and I was like, that's right, everyone came back.
And you just like see the
From the
sparks in the
snap.
distance, and you're just like,
It's
wait
like,
a minute.
whoa.
Oh,
By the way, just before that happens, is my absolute favorite cinematic, like visually stimulating scene.
Yeah.
Is when Captain America stands up slowly, and there's the whole like bad guy army, and Thanos is there, and he stands up and he looks at that, and it's just like ready to go, and it's just like that whole wide shot there is just
he was
it is
prepared
just
to take him on by
perfect.
himself.
Yeah, he was ready. I was like, this is so cool, and then all the light stuff happens. It's
Everyone comes to.
and I'm like, dude, and then literally everyone is there. Just like Super Smash Bros. Everyone is here.
Everyone's in. We're at 43 minutes, by the way, so this is
Alright,
going to
I
be
just-
one hell of a timestamp.
Final thoughts. Just,
Final thoughts?
I think
Yeah, 10
at the end of the day, it's just this sense of camaraderie between
Yep.
the Avengers
Mhm.
in this thing coming to an end. That's what made it good.
It's more than a thing. Never ever in cinematic history has this ever been done. 22 films all leading up to one thing.
It will be.
22 films leading up to one thing.
This isn't going to happen very soon.
No, it's
Like,
not
we
going to
won't see this
happen.
again.
Yeah, or I don't know, maybe. The question is what happens after this for the MCU.
Where are they going to go?
From what I've heard from the directors, it's going up into space. That's what they're doing.
Ooh.
Like all celestials and stuff. It's weird, but I don't know. I'll keep it short because otherwise I'm going to keep going.
All right. Are we doing playground insults?
Are we doing playground insults?
Do we have time?
I reckon we do it. Yeah.
We're at
Oh, wait,
44
we
right
gotta
You know,
say-
the people want more of us.
Wait.
We actually just time-stamped him. Left out a huge chunk.
Like
And it's like, alright,
like
guys,
3/4 of the
1
thing.
minute left, guys.
So you just you clicked on the timestamp and you're back now.
Hello.
Hello. We talked about it a lot whilst you were gone.
Listen to a bit of smooth jazz. Gave free iTunes codes to our viewers.
Yeah, we did a lot of giveaways. A lot of money got given away without you. But don't worry, because Damien and I are here now.
You should have watched Endgame. Playground insults.
Playground insults.
You don't know how this works? Well, it's the thing with on BBC on YouTube. Two people sitting opposite each other, giving
That's
playground
what we're doing.
insults. Yeah.
We're opposite each other.
Wow.
Damien
And the first person to kind of crack or who like gives a killer insult wins. Starting now.
Nathan, can you be the ref?
You can be the moderator. All right, so 1v1v1. Me versus Nathan versus Roman. Starting
Playground
now.
insults. Wait, do they get the concept? So one of us says an
Yeah,
insult.
I already explained
Okay,
it.
wait,
Yeah,
okay,
they get
sorry,
it. If
jeez.
you haven't seen this already, just go
Go with
watch
flow.
the Mark Wahlberg versus Will Ferrell one. It's quite funny. But anyway,
Okay, do you want to start
starting
us
now.
off?
considering I'm the least funny here, no.
You're not meant to insult yourself. Alright, that was my beginning. Who's first, mate?
Yeah, you can start.
Nathan, your handwriting is not that good. It's about respect. And it clearly shows from your handwriting you don't have respect for yourself.
Nathan,
I'm improving it for next time.
Nathan, you call yourself a math god, but you drop spec.
It's getting kind of personal. Alright. Ooh.
It's your turn, Nathan. You have to go now. I have to say
Hey, Roman.
Yes, Damien?
How's the weather down there?
Haha. I don't get it, Damien. Could you explain the joke further for anyone who doesn't know my height?
Because you're like 5'7".
And that's
Five,
not,
six.
and according to average height in Australia and to the European genetics, that's not very tall.
I know dwarfs that are bigger than you.
Oh,
Sorry, no. Sorry.
they go.
broke it.
Is it my turn?
It is,
Okay.
Whatever.
Damien,
Yes, Roman.
my height might be small, but it is you who has the small compassion and respect for not only yourself, but the people who are around you. People do not enjoy themselves when they're around you because of the lack of compassion and respect that you have for them.
I know you're only saying this because you're the worst bass player ever. You're just jealous of me and my bass abilities, and my guitar abilities, and my piano abilities. We don't want you in the band. Quit.
I don't think that's a
I don't think that was getting too
That was a
real.
bit extreme.
We're not in the playground anymore.
Alright, no, back serious.
Okay, sorry. Keep that. Do you want to go again, Nathan?
Nathan, you go.
You can do one.
Yeah, Damien.
Yes. Yes, Nathan.
I was talking to your brother Jared the other
Really?
day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He said he didn't realise he had you for a brother.
Okay. Nathan. Nathan, why do you need crutches for a bruised foot?
It's a sprained ankle, if you knew me, but
You turned that on you pretty good.
Composure. Oh.
Nathan, you threw out some good insults, some hot fire even. But I hear you can't even take the smallest amount of chili before you become uncomfortable. Weak?
worst part is that it's true.
We're in the playground still, don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a safe place.
You know what? I'm gonna go for a double go. Damien.
Yes, Roman.
Huh. I shouldn't have gone for the double go. I don't have an idea. Huh. Damien.
Yeah.
Huh. You wear your tie in that fashion?
I do.
My goodness, do you have no respect for the school? You're a disappointment.
You say that as your shirt is untucked.
It's a fashion choice. I chose it because I have...
Is it not a school rule to tuck your shirt in, Roman? Do you disrespect the school?
No, I don't actually. I disrespect myself. Nathan, pipe in, please. It's getting awkward silence.
Damien and Roman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yes, Nathan?
Your band has enough takeoff as a paper plane without wings.
Why'd it have to be paper?
Because
It doesn't fly.
Oh, really, Nathan?
Yeah.
Where's your band?
Where is it,
I don't
Nathan?
have-
You asked you a
or is
question.
it- is
You asked
it-
you a question, Nathan. You have to answer.
I don't have a band.
Is it lost with your dignity?
Yeah.
Hey Roman,
Yes, Damien.
what's it like being in my shadow?
I quite like it because it's nice and cool in your shadow. Huh. Nathan, how does it feel that your entire job in this creative prospect is looking up things on Google? Ha ha ha.
Yeah, Nathan, what's it like being in our shadow?
I may be in Damien's shadow, but at least I'm not in Nathan's.
You stuffed up the delivery on that, but yeah.
Damn.
No, the effect hits. No one wants to be in my shadow.
Nathan, how does it feel knowing that you're about to sit your driving test, but then break your foot by jumping on a rock and therefore can no longer sit it?
Nathan. Nathan, how does it feel that you cut your bread diagonally rather than horizontally? /vertically. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good.
Nathan,
To you, I think it would, but to many of us, it would seem absurd.
how does it feel being the only one in year 12 with braces still?
You've got railroads in your mouth.
Am I actually the only one in
No, you're not, but
It's a playground insult.
I'm kind of at a loss for words. I was really.
alright. Nathan's out, it's me and Roman.
Okay. Two Jedi Masters go at it.
Dude, this is like the scene with Qui-Gon Jinn and
It's like the scene from
am
the
I just
prequels.
the dead Padawan?
Yeah.
yeah.
You're the younglings. Not the younglings.
Not the young.
Hey, Damien.
Hey Roman.
What's it like not wearing sunscreen on a really sunny day?
I take it you wouldn't know.
What's it like having a fairer skin tone where it's more likely you'll get melanoma, where I, on the other hand, have a darker skin color, so I'm less likely to get cancer?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you from down there. You need to speak up.
Your height jokes are subpar, and they're not really good. The joke is, much like this whole segment, is outdated and had its time in the sunshine.
I don't respect you. I don't care for what you have to say. No one respects you.
Right, that's it. No more.
Alright.
No more.
That has been an After Hours podcast.
That's how we're
Thank
ending
you
it.
for listening.
Thank you.
Me and Roman here with Nathan.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, no problem. You're here every week anyway. Yeah, nice one.
Thank you for tuning in.
See ya.
Bye.